Okay, do you struggle with negative emotions in life? Just like painful ones, meaning they feel super uncomfortable. Sometimes you just don't want to sit in the negative. You'd rather kind of just be a positive person and move on. You're not alone. You might be an Enneagram type 7, you may not be one, but in general, Enneagram 7s really can battle with negative emotions. Sorry about that dog. And struggle to sit there and feel like it's worth sitting through, feeling, talking through. And I want to give you 3 tips because the truth is, when it comes to sad or painful emotions in life, we can't always just act positive and move on. We actually have to sit in them in order to experience healing. And not to freak you out that you have to sit in it, but you have to deal with it. You have to actually move on. And that can be hard. So here are 3 different tips for you if you battle with this. Guys, we're going somewhere else. I can't do this. Okay, I really wanted to film that video outside because it's nice and I wanted to walk, but it's too windy and that dog was a little loud. That's okay. So tip number 1, we're just starting over, is to make it fun. And I know that sounds weird where you're like, Callie, this is emotional pain. Like, how do I make this fun? How you make it fun is go create a fun environment. What is your favorite drink? Do you like going to a coffee shop? Do you enjoy sitting in your bedroom all alone or maybe taking a bath? Like doing something that makes the environment more fun, where you're like, okay, I'm going to process through these emotions. I'm going to journal about it. I'm going to call a friend or talk to someone or just talk with myself through what I'm feeling, through this pain, through what's going on, this trauma. But what you're doing is you're helping yourself see how it can be fun and positive while also working through something a little painful. And we as humans really care a lot about our environment. We're kind of like sponges of what our environment is like. Some personalities more than others, but you can do this. You can take ownership and tweak your environment. Tip number 2 is to set a time limit. When I say you need to deal with this emotional pain or kind of work through a trauma, you might be thinking like, oh my gosh, I'm going to have to sit in this pain for like a month, a week, or months, years. I just said months multiple times. But feeling like you have to deal with this forever? No. Maybe go start with setting a 5-minute timer where you're like, I'm going to journal about what I'm feeling right now, how annoying and uncomfortable it is. Then I'm going to pray over this and release it to the Lord and move on. You don't have to drag this out. And the more you build that muscle of learning how to handle what's actually going on internally and how to deal with this emotional pain, you're going to be able to move forward in such a healthy way and be able to sit in it a little bit longer if you need to. But sometimes all it takes is 5 minutes of truly identifying what happened, what was the situation, and how to move forward rather than just sitting in it or ignoring it for long periods of time. The 3rd tip is to reframe your mindset. So I talk about mindset a lot because it dictates everything we do. If you think that talking about trauma or just emotionally painful or hard, uncomfortable things is negative or not fun, you're not going to see it as fun. And I'm not saying it has to be like, yes, let's talk about trauma. But you can start to reframe your mind to see it as a positive thing where you're like, wait a second, if I actually deal with this trauma, if I deal with this pain, I become a stronger person. I become more confident. I learn how to build my emotional capacity. I learn how to handle really hard feedback from people. I learn how to be tactful in these relationships rather than just trying to stuff it and move on. If you can reframe your mindset to see this emotional, painful thing as something that is actually there to build you, to make you better, to help you to show up for your life in a whole new level that is actually fun and adventurous because it makes you that much more capable, you're going to start embracing it. And so reframe your mind, create a self-talk where you speak to yourself every single day of why you embrace emotional pain, why it's important to you, and why you're willing to push through the discomfort to do it. If you want more information on the Enneagram or how to grow your life, check out my website down below where I have courses that you can take and continue to improve yourself and become a healthier and whole human.